All right, I'm going to show you some super interesting stuff tonight. I've been told about a couple of residents who spoke at the meeting, I think it was on June 8th, about their concerns about Gulf Coast Jam. And I've neglected to really see what it's all about. So I'm going to do it with you. I'm going to watch the comments with you. I'm going to explain to you again how the mayor of Panama City Beach receives $1.5 million a year to run Gulf Coast Jam and Sand Jam from the TDC, the Tourist Development Council. He gets $1.5 million a year, and it began in 2015. It was seed money. It was startup money. And unless I'm mistaken, Gulf Coast Jam was just bragging about how they are sold out. Why in the world is a company as successful as Mayor Mark Sheldon's Gulf Coast Jam receiving $1.5 million a year in seed money? What you're going to see tonight is going to blow your mind, because after we watch the public comments, I'm going to explain to you where Mayor Sheldon came from, and I'm going to show you what this is all about. You're absolutely not going to believe it. How this is, it's not appropriate for sure, and I don't think it's particularly legal either. You tell me what you think after you watch what I'm going to show you. The worst part about it is that the FBI knows, the sheriff's office knows, and they're not doing anything about it. But the statute of limitations, if there were any crimes committed, do not run out until 2 years after he leaves office. So with respect to Mark Sheldon, if there is any criminal activity, and quite frankly, based on information and belief, I think there is, and I'm not the only one, the statute of limitations does not run out for a while. For some public officials who have jumped ship and gotten out of government and have been gone for more than 2 years, they're in the clear, like former mayor of Panama City Beach, Mike Pay-to-Play Thomas, who broke laws live on video when he traded a vote for a road next to his restaurant, on video with the late Derwin White, who was the president of GAC. It was live on video. They said it was illegal, and then 30 minutes later, they did it. Unbelievable. First, let me thank a couple of sponsors. Then we're going to watch the public comments, and then I'm going to show you a very short video that's going to blow your mind.
Is your past ruining your future? Having your record sealed or expunged wipes the slate clean, providing you with a new opportunity in life. I'm Al Saulene, your Panama City Beach lawyer. 215-0628.
You want to look good? You want to feel good? Little John's Big and Tall is where it's at. Right across the street from Sky's Pizza Pie, 5700 North Davis Highway. You can find out more online at littlejohnsbigandtall.com. He's also a member of the iTex trading community, where your iTex dollars are welcome.
All right, as I said, I have not seen these public comments. I don't know what the kerfuffle is all about, what the cafefe is all about. I'm just not sure, and I haven't watched this yet. So we're going to watch together what the residents' concerns were at the city council meeting, public comments. There's 2 citizens who spoke on June 8th, just a couple of weeks ago. So let's go to that, and let's find out together what the concerns are. Remember, he owns Gulf Coast Jam, and these citizens were never given an answer. These comments were completely ignored by the mayor, who is the owner of Gulf Coast Jam. Let's watch.
Moving on. Item 8 tonight is public comments regarding consent items or non-agenda items. Please limit to 3 minutes. Does anybody have any public comment this evening? Step right up.
Well, good evening. I'm here this evening requesting solutions for the Palmetto Trace community with respect to fire safety, parking, security issues, and potential reimbursement for the vandalism that took place during Gulf Coast Jam. We're a neighborhood of 481 homes, and we're a voting community of approximately 1,100 registered voters here in Florida. We are the single largest and the most vulnerable community when it comes to larger venues such as Gulf Coast Jam. But please don't get me wrong. We moved here knowing years ago we were moving to a city that is tourist-based, and we welcome tourism. And we appreciate the venues that everyone works very hard to bring to our city. And we frequent many. As a matter of fact, I'm known to go to Gulf Coast Jam every single year with a family of 4, and I was there this year. But I think if we're honest with each other as a community, this year was very different. And I would like to understand better how the city and its venue partners will do better in 2024. We had approximately $2,655 in damages to our community, whether it was running down of mailboxes, crashing into cars, taking off mirrors, damaging people's front yards, destroying irrigation systems. And I really believe it was due to 2 things. And those 2 things in my mind were poor planning and making sure that the event provided enough secured parking for such a large event, which was 30,000 people. It's a lot of people, great result. And I also believe it's because there was no assigned security. DSI wasn't at our entrance, and we're right there within a couple thousand feet of the main entrance to Gulf Coast Jam. At the end of Gulf Coast Jam, the next morning, I got all kinds of Facebook blurbs. Congratulations. Frank Brown parking sold out at $100. Aaron Bassett sold out. All parking sold out 24 hours after 2023 Gulf Coast Jam ended. So it's my question to you is, how do we do better in 2024 and plan better? It's my understanding that there's funds for damages if things like this happen at Frank Brown or Aaron Bassett or Pier Park North or Pier Park, and there's agreements that have been made. But what about our community? Again, we are the largest, most vulnerable residential community, which is right next door to the entrance of Gulf Coast Jam. Our HOA doesn't budget for damages for vandalism, and I am the HOA president.
Thank you.
Can I just say one more thing?
Quickly, you
Okay,
have your
very
3 minutes
quickly.
is up.
We believe that the city provides wonderful venues. We would just like to be protected as a neighborhood. And I would like to personally know as the HOA president, if there is a way with proved vandalism, if the city would help pay for some of those problems.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Does anybody else have public comments this evening? Yes, ma'am.
Don't you think that she deserved an answer? She doesn't get an answer.
Hi, Molly Allen, Low Water. I too have a similar complaint. We had, through our neighborhood, people walking. We couldn't even drive. We had to stop to migrate around the groups of people walking down Low Water Drive, people trying to get through the neighborhood to see if they could go through to Pier Park through Low Water, East Low Water Circle there. Also, I put in a public request with Lynn Fazzone for the parking, what am I trying to say? At Aaron Bassett Park, what was the rental rate that was given to Gulf Coast Jam? It took away from the community. And so my question is, are our public parks going to become parking lots? Are they being taken away from us? Where's our green space going? What is the contract? How much did the Gulf Coast Jam pay for the parking? And then, you know, how much does it make off the parking? Did it make anything? Was it just free public parking that anybody could park there? And if Gulf Coast Jam rented it, can other people rent it just strictly for parking and not for an event? It was pretty obscene at 6 o'clock in the morning. There was loud music playing at 6 o'clock in the morning. My neighbors complained about it too. Karen Weber came out and said to me, what was that music at 6 o'clock this morning? So, and then also just a quick note, who cleans up the parks in the neighborhood? Because there's been a pile of transient trash out at Low Water Park for about a week and a half now, just sitting on the side of the road. And I don't know who cleans that up. Does the city clean up the city parks when transient bicycles and garbage cans from West Pier Park. There's all those garbage cans sitting out there. The transients have been just grabbing those garbage cans that are loose from West Pier Park, and they're pulling them into the neighborhoods just wherever they are. And they're like, oh, here's my garbage can. And then they just walk away. So there's about 4 or 5 filled garbage cans sitting through low water that nobody really owns. So they're just sitting there. There's actually one sitting at Popeye Field that doesn't belong there. And it's been sitting there for 2 weeks. So my question is, who cleans out the neighborhood parks, and also about parking at Aaron Besson?
Thank you. Anybody else have any public comments this evening? Seeing no more, moving on. We will move on.
Now, now, don't you think those are legitimate concerns? These are exactly the kinds of concerns that a city government is supposed to address. And all Mayor Sheldon did was he said, moving on, and did not address them. Normally, they will address them at the end of the meeting. This was an incredibly short meeting. This was only 23 minutes long, and this is the 18-minute and 30-second mark. So let's see how the owner of Gulf Coast Jam, who gets $1.5 million every year for startup money for Gulf Coast Jam, since 2015, he still gets seed money for Gulf Coast Jam. Does that make sense? Does that seem like a conflict of interest? So let's go back and see if he addresses this.
On to our consent agenda.
Oh, moving on.
Resolution 23-185, a resolution of the City of Panama City Beach, Florida, approving an agreement with Polk City Sod for bulk.
Providing for severability.
Okay, so they vote on that.
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman Jarman?
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Sheldon?
Yes, ma'am.
All right,
Item 2.
next
ordinance
item.
1626, Ms. Myers.
An
Okay,
ordinance of the city of
they're gonna.
This item
the-
comes to you at the recommendation of the Firefighters Pension Board. It provides an optional form of benefit that the firefighters will elect to participate in, and they will pay for that. So there's no actuarial cost to the city.
They're going to vote on this.
City Beach, Florida, approving a task order.
Seeing none, items open for board discussion.
Motion to approve. Second.
Please call.
There we go.
Councilman Chester?
Yes, ma'am.
Vice Mayor Casto?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman Jarman?
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Sheldon?
Yes, ma'am. Item 4 this evening is resolution 23-188. Ms. Myers.
All right, almost over. Meeting's almost over.
Open for board discussion.
Motion approved. Second.
Please call the roll.
Let's
Councilman
get it
Chester?
over with.
ma'am.
Vice Mayor Casto?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman Jarman?
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Sheldon?
Yes, ma'am. City manager report.
No report tonight.
Perfect. City attorney.
No report.
Councilman Chester.
Good to go.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Jarman.
TPO update. I just went to the TPO meeting Wednesday. The projects for 6 Landing Back Beach are Jackson to Hathaway Bridge.
All right. Oh, wait.
Will be used to move up the 3rd section, which is from R Jackson to Hathaway Bridge. So that was good news for us.
All right. Mayor, what about those questions?
That's about all. Thank you.
Vice Mayor.
For me, Mayor.
Perfect. Nothing for me. God bless you all. Meeting adjourned.
What? Have you ever seen such brazen arrogance and pomposity? Those ladies whose quality of life, they both represented entire neighborhoods, low water, and I forget the name. So if somebody will write it down, I forget the name of the other neighborhood. But it's a big neighborhood. Not an answer. They went there and they were ignored by the mayor, who owns Gulf Coast Jam. Do you want to see the history of Mayor Sheldon, who came to Panama City Beach from Alabama, escaping indictments, arrests, and incarcerations for similar type stuff? How he came here and then how he got this sweetheart deal to get $1.5 million a year. Now, in the video I'm going to show you, I keep saying in the video that I made 2 years ago that he was getting $735,000 a year. I was wrong by half. It's $1.5 million a year. So every time you hear me say he gets $735,000, just know, ha, Bernie, you're wrong. It's twice that. Let's take a look. You're not going to believe what I'm about to show you. It's a 4-minute video, and you will learn a hell of a lot. I know the FBI was super interested in this a couple of years ago. Don't know if they are anymore. I know the sheriff's office was incredibly interested in this a couple of years ago. Don't know if they are anymore. Kind of doubt it, to be honest with you. All right. Hold on to your hats. You're not going to believe this. This is the mayor of Panama City Beach. Mark Sheldon is the big concert promoter for the city of Panama City Beach. The Tourist Development Council pays his company more than $700,000 a year to market his own music festivals. He's also the mayor. Last week, the council voted unanimously to extend his Sand Jam concert for 5 more years. But here's the kicker. The city also guaranteed that Mayor Sheldon would be in charge of the music festivals, even if he sells them to a big corporate entity for millions of dollars. It's known as the key person provision, and now it's part of the contract.
As the promoter of Sand Jam, I will recuse myself from this vote as it relates directly to my event. I have already filled out a conflict disclosure form with the city clerk.
According to the city, if they don't give Mayor Sheldon a 5-year guarantee, then he might just up and leave, take his concert to another community that pays him more money.
These events get stolen all the time by other communities. They're not stupid. They can see your success, and if you haven't locked them up for a reasonable amount of time, they will take them, and they will move. I mean, money talks.
Big corporate entities are buying up concerts, and the city wants to make sure that Mayor Sheldon is still in charge of them if that happens.
These events have a personal DNA based upon the people that created them and promote them. We need to make sure if they are acquired, and frequently they are, that those people are present in those events if they're going to continue with this agreement with the city.
I've argued that it's a conflict of interest for a mayor of any city to get paid tax money to promote his own concerts. Most voters disagreed with me. After all, Mark Sheldon's been doing this stuff for a long time. Here he is in Alabama about a decade ago. He worked for this man, Ronnie Gilly. Mark Sheldon was the registered agent for Ronnie Gilly Properties, and he was Gilly's chief operating officer. Soon afterward, there was a public corruption sting, and Ronnie Gilly went to prison for nearly 7 years.
We're absolutely excited. I mean, the project that Ronnie's put together is phenomenal. It's hiring and employing a lot of local folks, a lot of people that haven't been to having a job for a little while. Obviously, the economy stuff, and there's people that was just, on the job site this morning, and a man telling me, thank Mr. Gilly, I haven't had a job in 4 months. So it's great to see people that are actually from our local area getting the opportunity to go to work again, and that's everything that Ronnie's done for it. It's an amazing project.
The year before Ronnie Gilly was busted, Mark Sheldon served on a public board that voted to buy 52 acres of land for country crossing improvements. Oh, and they voted to buy the land from Ronnie Gilly himself. You can see Mark Sheldon here orchestrating the yeses.
For the 5 board members present, in order to proceed with today's meeting.
This is another meeting. Just before it's called to order, he whispers something to a fellow board member. That's Chuck Taylor, the CFO for Ronnie Gilly. He did all the accounting, and they're about to vote.
All ready?
Maybe he's not like that anymore. At any rate, Mark Sheldon escaped the dragnet in Alabama, spruced up his image, and came to Panama City Beach.
Please do not miss the official city Christmas tree put up by the Tourist Development Council. This year, the official tree is in the open area of the municipal complex in front of City Hall, and it's visible from Back Beach Road. There's parking if you want to get a family photo with a tree and the 12 reindeer out front.
In 2015, the Tourist Development Council gave him $1.7 million to start up the music festivals here, and they pay his annual marketing budget, $750,000. They set it up to split the profits. 2 of his fellow councilmen now serve on the TDC, That's where they vote to keep the money flowing. Then they come back to the council where they just made sure that even if Mayor Sheldon sells his concerts to a big corporation, he's still the head honcho.
Nice work if you can get it.
It's fine work.
And you can get it if you try.
I got connections too.
It's a hot time in Florida, and my friend Ryan can make sure your air conditioning is running at peak efficiency. He could even install a new one, built to a higher standard, American standard. Find out more at pcairrepair.com. Don't let back pain and neck pain get you down. Find relief at Brown Chiropractic Center on St. Andrews Boulevard in Panama City. Dr. Sherry Brown helps people heal naturally with chiropractic adjustments and deep tissue massage. Call 769-3777. Is that amazing? And the FBI knows all about it. And Sheriff Tommy Ford and his public trust unit know all about it. But they've got a deal. I even saw, didn't I see the Gulf Coast Jam gave Sheriff Ford's office some tickets or something recently? Boy, I hope they do something about it before he robs the town blind. That's a quote from one of them. Before he robs the town blind. Do you know those concerns that the residents had about parking and safety and vandalism and noise? These are the types of concerns that shut down spring break. And my point is that there is a double standard. The mayor owns Gulf Coast Jam. And if the city manager doesn't jump when he says jump, as a matter of fact, if he doesn't say how high, we've already seen what this bully will do. And it continues on. But I wanted you to see that the mayor and owner of Gulf Coast Jam completely ignored residents' serious concerns, backed up by all their neighbors. They went to a meeting and they were ignored. I'd heard about this, but I didn't look into it until tonight, and I wanted to do it with you. All right, I also want to thank the Unknown Patriot for your support, because nobody else is reporting on this, are they? WMBB, how many tickets do they get? WJHG, how many tickets do they get? The News Herald, how many tickets? The Sheriff's Office, I don't remember how many tickets they got. At what? How long does seed money last? $1.5 million a year? Boy. Who gets the kickbacks? I could go on and on. I know a lot of stuff about this, but I'm going to end it right here. I wanted you to see that for yourself, because isn't it amazing? All right. Thanks for being with me, and I will see you soon.